Okay, so today our guest is former a teacher from Roosevelt, and now a vice principal at Cameron, right?
That is correct, Star.
Cameron Elementary. Okay, so today I'll be asking you um 15 questions, I should say.
Wow, I should say 15 is a lot of questions.
And a bonus question.
Oof, okay.
Okay, so the first question is, how has your first year at Cameron Elementary been?
Wow. Well, my first year at Cameron Elementary has been exciting, has been um, crazy. It's been very different. So, as you know, I was a teacher at Roosevelt until February of 2020. And then I became vice principal at Cammon and got things started. I started meeting all the students and getting used to all the teachers here. And it was really fun getting to know everybody. And then at the end of the fourth week as vice principal at Cammon, we closed the school. And it's been very different. Of course, 100% distance learning and making sure that families had food. And it's been very busy. There's a lot of challenges, but there's a lot of really cool things that have come of it. I've been able to get to know families a little bit better. Um, the distance learning thing has been challenging. I know for teachers in many ways, coming up with great lesson plans, and it's very similar for me as a vice principal because I'm trying to help support the teachers with good plans and resources and all that stuff. So that was a lot of words to answer one simple question. It's been great, but there are a lot of challenges, Star.
Yeah, I understand you. Okay, so the second question is, what do you do while you are in quarantine with family?
What do I do while I'm in quarantine with family? Okay, well, fortunately, I have a really nice space in my backyard. So I spend a lot of time in my backyard on one of my decks. I do that. Since beaches are open or at least I think beaches are open now all the time, but for a while, beaches were only open for certain hours of the day. So later in the day, I would take my dogs to the beach and walk them,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun. But we've played a lot more games, and both of my daughters are grown. They're both adults, but they live in the area. In fact, one of them still lives with us. So we've played a lot more games, and actually, I've watched a lot more TV than probably should. And of course, I've eaten a lot more than I should have.
I'm sure everyone has, especially now that we're not at school, we don't have like no recess, no PE,
That's
and
right.
that's what keeps us from like losing weight. That's
Yeah.
what keeps us
Instead, we sit on the couch and eat a bag of chips.
we're gaining weight. Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, what do you miss about Roosevelt?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can name all the things I miss about Roosevelt, but Star, I had so many good friends that I taught with at Roosevelt. I miss them tremendously. And the students were incredible. And it's not that I don't enjoy the relationships that I've developed at Cammon, but I was at Roosevelt for long enough that I got to know families really well, and the students. I will tell you something, and I know I've told this to Mr. Cordero before, but in my current job, there are a lot of challenges, and I see a lot of good things, and then I have to work with some things that aren't so good sometimes, and it can kind of get you down a little bit.
Yeah.
Here's what I do. I have all of the letters and the cards and things that the students at Roosevelt gave me. And then some that Ms. Ramos and Ms. Velasquez have sent to me since I left, that students have written, wishing me well and telling me that they miss me and stuff. I pull out those letters and from you guys, and it makes me feel so much better. And it always reminds me why I'm doing the job I do. So, yeah, there you go.
Okay. So this one is a funny question from Mr. Cordero.
Oh, I don't know if you should even ask it.
Oh my God, the students are gonna love this. Okay. Is Santa Claus real, and are you him?
Okay, Star, you're going to have to repeat that one. It cut out, and I want to make sure I got every single bit of that question.
Is Santa Claus real, and are you him?
I don't know if I can honestly answer that question. Okay.
Okay, so moving along. The question is, if you had one inspiring quote to say to students or a teacher, what would it be?
An inspiring quote. I don't know, and I don't know where this came from. Of course, I think of quotes a lot, but I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you one, and then I'll kind of explain it. Then I'm going to read another one, because I have a little book that every now and then I will just look at, because it's got little inspiration and stuff in it. But I have to remind myself. So I'm going to say what I say to myself sometimes. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Oh, yeah,
which means don't worry about the little things that really don't matter that much. You can take care of that stuff with no problem. The things that you need to invest your time and your energy into are the people you care about and the people you're trying to serve. And so if I were going to tell a teacher who were frustrated or just needed a little pick me, I said, hey, don't worry about the little things. Otherwise, don't sweat the small stuff. It'll get taken care of and you'll be fine. Make sure that you're taking care of your people first.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I always take care of big things than small things first, especially when it's to animals.
Oh, well, hey, listen, animals are a big deal. I have animals myself, and I have to take care of them.
Yeah, we fostered a bunch of animals before, and we found them their homes, and then right now fostering a cat that is gonna have kittens soon.
Wow.
Oh,
that's a big deal. If you're fostering, that means that you're taking care of them like they're your own, and then you give them up. And that's a big deal. That'd be almost heartbreaking to me. Now, are you fostering a giraffe right now?
No.
Will you have something against giraffes?
No.
Okay, well, all right.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
So where did you work at before Roosevelt and Cameron?
Okay, so where did I work before Roosevelt and Cameron? I was a teacher at Natividad. I taught at Natividad. I taught 6th grade at Natividad for about 5 years before I came to Roosevelt. And before that, I taught middle school in Watsonville.
Ooh, nice.
And before that, I was in a completely different career. I was in sales and marketing for a tech company.
A tech company?
I know, crazy stuff.
Dang.
But none of that has been nearly as satisfying and rewarding as being a teacher.
Yeah. I would agree because like being a teacher has like a bunch of responsibilities, but
Mm-hmm.
also you get the love and care from staff and teachers and students. And then eventually, like when they're grown up, you'll be talking to them, and then it gets like all emotional because like you used to see them as these little kids. Now they're like grown up and have their own careers and things like that.
Yep. This is true. It's, over time, especially when the kids that you've taught maybe have now their own children are starting school, and you get to see the next generation. And it's really neat. And to see maybe if you've had a positive impact on others, which I hope we all do, but it's really neat. And that's a great observation, Star.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is, how many pets do you have?
How many pets do I have?
Yeah.
I have right now, I have four.
Or
I have two golden retriever dogs, and I have an orange cat,
oh no,
and we have a turtle.
ooh,
Yes. And we had a black cat, but he was very old. And so he decided it was time for him to go on. And he passed away not too long ago. But he was a very, very sweet old cat.
yeah. Cats get evil sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my other cat. I'm looking at her right now.
Well, if you decided to foster a giraffe, I don't know, you might feel differently about things. I don't know.
Oh no, either. Oh, no. Another question. Is, what activity would you recommend for students during quarantine while they're safe?
Okay, so let me make sure I heard that right. The what activity would I recommend to students during quarantine when they're not like being in instruction? Is that right?
Well, yeah, while keeping safe, like they could do it out.
Oh, while they're keeping space. Gotcha. Thanks, Star. What activity? Well, I think it needs to be outside because I think everybody needs to be outside as much as they can. So, what activity? I would say push-ups. Lots of push-ups out in the yard.
So lots of exercise.
Okay, so maybe not just push-ups, but yeah, get out, run around, have some fun, make up jokes.
I'm pretty sure everyone would be like, okay, so knock knock.
Who's there?
Everyone's are just being who's interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Moo.
Oh,
Moo.
Star.
Moo. Everyone just comes up with rap jokes, and then it comes like world famous. It's weird, but this is how the world works.
It is. So, Star, why did the chef quit his job?
Because he wanted to work as a pastry chef instead.
No, they cut his salary.
Oh, that's a good one. A lot of people would be like, what? Because I don't know what celery is, like he cut celery.
Yep.
If you're watching, little salary means money. They just say salary for short.
Yeah. You got to figure it out.
Yeah. They'll end up searching it up anyways. Okay, so Miss Ramos gave me some questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you one of the bonus questions right now. And it
What
is what
bonus questions? There's more than one bonus question?
Yes.
Okay.
So one question is, what do you do with your pet during quarantine? Like how you said, like go to the beach. Like what
Oh,
else?
what do I do with my pets? Okay, well, of course, we brush them a lot because
They shed.
three of them have a lot of fur and they shed a lot. So in my house, um, sometimes we see these like ginger looking tumbleweeds floating around the floor, and it's just dog fur or cat fur. So we brush them a lot to try and keep the shedding down. Um, we've I would like to say we try and teach them tricks, but we don't. So I won't say that. Um, we play with them, we chase them around, they chase us around, but we go to the beach. I mean, that's our dogs. That's their absolute favorite place to go.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, some dogs don't like to go to the beach, but I'm pretty sure most of the dogs go swimming and like catch random things in the ocean.
yep, exactly. Yeah, and you know
Especially,
what's funny? They don't. When we go to the beach, they don't even chase the seabirds that are hanging out there along the shore. They just walk past them. They're weirdo dogs.
some dogs will most likely just like bark at them or
Hmm.
try to attack them.
Yeah,
But there are some dogs that enjoy the view.
it may be. Yeah, yeah.
I like this. I don't like this. Okay, so another question is how has your influence and perspective changed as you moved from pardon me
No, you're a good star.
moved from a teacher to an administrator?
Ooh, now that's a big question. I think I've described it before, and it's again, that's a fantastic question. As a teacher, you're in charge of your class, and maybe if you're also working on some special projects at the school, you see things in that context. Like I see my 30 students and how my actions affect them. As I've moved from being a teacher into being an administrator, now I'm here to support 730 students, about 40, well, actually closer to 50 to 60 staff if you include all the custodians and the support staff that we have. So the perspective is kind of like if you're camping at Big Sur and you're in the trees and you can see all these beautiful trees around you. And then you move to a different camp spot where you can still see the trees, but now you can see the whole ocean in front of you. So it's like all of a sudden you get to see a whole lot more of what goes on. And the really cool thing is you can kind of see even more how what you do as an individual and how that affects a whole lot of different people. So you have to really work hard to make good decisions. You have to always keep in mind, why am I doing this? Is this going to be good for the students, the teachers, and the families that you support? So I guess going kind of repeating myself a little bit, when I was in the classroom, I was concerned about how is what I do affecting my students and their families.
Yeah.
And it's really the same thing. It's just on a much larger scale. So it's super important to keep in mind what I'm doing now and how is it going to affect them. And it's a neat challenge.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so another one is what's the hardest part about being a principal in time of COVID?
Oh, the hardest part about being a vice principal in the time of COVID. Oh gosh. Um, I would say this challenge is probably the most consistent. Making sure that all of our students have the technology they need and that they have, and that their teachers have all the support they need in order to get instruction to the students, if that makes sense.
Okay, how has being a grandparent changed the way in which you approached your job?
Oh my gosh. Um, well, first and foremost, and one of the reasons she's asking that question is because I became a grandparent for the first time in August.
Yay!
So I have a grandson who is now 9 weeks old,
Wow.
and it's it changes my perspective on everything to an extent. I mean, Star, listen, I love being a parent.
Yeah.
I loved it when my daughters were born. I loved being a dad for them as they were growing up, and I still love being their dad as they're young adults and starting their own families and stuff. But being a grandparent is so cool because now I can just, love my grandson and spoil him, and then I don't have to worry so much about, you know, raising him. Well, I mean, I'm sure I'll keep up. It's just different. It's not as much. I don't know.
Work.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I still change diapers and things like that if I need to. That's not a big deal. But I still haven't answered Ms. Ramos' question. But I think maybe my perspective with my job, I'm going to go beyond just my job. Being a grandparent makes me super happy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that I'm really not a happy person anyway, but I'm even happier now.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just can see you and your grandson like having those like pointy shirts. Well, this is like my grandpa and this is my grandson. We're just walking down the
Oh
street.
yeah, that was great.
I
Yeah,
just can so see that right now.
exactly. In fact, I'm so happy right now. I'm going to spin in my chair. Okay, there you go.
Okay, and one of the bonus questions is, well, the last bonus question is,
Okay.
if you had to choose one of the rest of your life, what would it be? Donuts or donut holes, and why?
Okay, good. That's a great question. Did you dream this question up yourself?
No, Miss Ramos gave me this.
That Ramos, she's always thinking, isn't she?
Yes.
Okay. So here's my choice, and I'll tell you my reasoning. I'm saying donuts. Number one, because there's a wide variety.
Yeah.
But let's just say, I mean, a donut hole is great, and you can pop a lot of them in if you're hungry or nervous. But donuts themselves, there's a wide variety. You can choose. You have a lot of choice here. But even if you didn't, let's just say that all you could get was your good standard glazed donut with a hole in the middle. The cool thing about that is you can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can have one in each hand and still have like a whole cake,
Yeah.
Or if you wanted to stack them up like on a little stick or something, you could eat them like a shish kebab.
Yeah.
God, you could actually, if you had a really light something, you could use it as the wheels on like an edible car,
Yeah.
something like that. Oh my gosh! Now that I'm thinking,
I've seen people like use those donuts and make them into like pancakes.
really?
Yeah, they put it in like a pancake or waffle maker, and then like they let it toast and it's a pancake, and then they put maple syrup and things like that. It's
Wow.
weird.
It's kind of weird, but it could be good. I mean, hey, come on.
It's a donut.
It's built on a donut. I mean,
And then
no, I agree. I think a donut, rather, not that I have anything against donut holes, but I would say if I only had that choice, let's go with the whole donut just because you got a little more flexibility.
yeah, and also you also have like it's bigger.
Right.
There's a wide variety, like different types of shapes,
Right.
hearts, squares, diamonds, whatever you want. You could customize it. But with donut holes, you could only do like so much things with that. You could still customize it, but it would
Yeah,
just be smaller, you
that's
know?
right. That's right. A little more subtle, maybe.
Yeah.
The only problem, though, that it's like they're bigger, of course. A regular donut's bigger, but because they're bigger, I'm a little bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the end
That's
of,
it?
yep.
How many bonus questions did we actually have, Star?
Um, I don't remember, to be honest. There was 50 questions in total.
Wow. Okay. Can I ask you a question before we stop?
Yes.
So, well, can I ask two questions?
Yes, you
Okay.
can.
So the first question is, how were you doing with distance learning? And I see, since I already knew you before I became a vice principal at a different school, I know that you're kind of a creative person.
Hmm.
So, how has this distance learning given you opportunities to be creative?
Okay, so for the first question with distance learning, I'm doing pretty well. I could say I do have friends that are in middle school that could help me with um, sixth grade,
Mhm.
and also they're my friends that are in middle school. They had a sister that graduated from high school and got her diploma, so she could also help me too. And they always boost up my confidence when I am a little down, or I'll just like talk to my cat right now that I'm fostering. It's kind of weird. I always talk to my animals. I mean, who doesn't? But
Good point.
the, there's this great teacher. Her name is Miss Shiparovich, and we have a lot of things in common. She's new to Roosevelt and new to Salinas.
Oh, very good.
And before she was a scientist that would work on brains.
Wow.
It was pretty cool. It was shocking for me when she told me that. I was like, what?
I
She,
think that's fantastic.
yeah, she's a cool teacher. That's all I have to say. And then for the second question that gets me creative is I look on the internet sometimes and look around my house and see, oh, I can make this, but change it up a little bit. And I'm making something cool, and then I get to spend time with my little sister. So it's really nice. And I've been baking like constantly. It's like really fun. Like right now, I have 2 cake boxes, 2 things of frosting, a bunch of more cake mix, cookie mix, and brownie mix, and muffin mix, sprinkles, chocolates for strawberries, pretzels for chocolate covered pretzels, um, and a lot more.
And a lot more.
And a
Star,
lot.
you're making me very hungry, young lady.
I know I'm making myself hungry right now. I'm just thinking of
So,
a bunch of food. I want to go bake right now, to be honest.
I can't tell you how much fun this has been.
And a lot,
I've really enjoyed visiting with you about this stuff.
me too. And I'm pretty sure the whole school will be like really happy and really excited and be, especially all the teachers too. And then
Well, I tell you, and this is the truth, even though I have moved to a different school and I am now a wildcat. But I will say this, and this is the honest to goodness truth. Once a bear, always a bear. There is a huge place in my heart for Roosevelt and all the wonderful people who are teaching there and going to school there and all of their families. I miss you guys tremendously, and I still think of you often. And like I said earlier, um, if I feel a little bit down, I just look back at all the wonderful things that you have given me over the years, and it makes me happy. So I think it's fantastic. We will always have that connection, Star.
every time when I see like a Star Wars mug or like a Star Wars something, I always think of you. I'm like, dang, I should have got that from Mr. Parr when he left. I always think of that. I'm like, I wish I just could grab him and just be like, here, and then he'll just like leave.
You are way too generous. And my office has a lot of Star Wars stuff in it.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I've
it
got,
does.
I've got my BB-8 right here.
Oh, that's a time?
Yeah, it's a clock.
Well, that's
And I'm working on getting a Death Star that I can hang from the ceiling or something. I don't know.
yeah. Every time, like when I see a mug, I always think Mr. Parr likes mugs. Maybe I should take that mug and just
And he always has coffee in there.
put like Baby Yoda or Darth Vader on it or something like that.
Or something.
Yeah, I always think of that. I'm like, you probably like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything else you want to say to social media or the students or teachers?
Listen, guys, you mean the world to me. I am so happy that our paths have crossed and that we continue to be great friends. And again, once a bear, always a bear. Star.
Okay.
Shine bright, shine far.